From the BBC 4 hours ago, Reform UK announces 2028 London mayoral candidate. Yep, this is the big story of the day. The debate is raging on X, and I feel like I have to talk about this one because for a rare change, I'm actually undecided about how to tackle this course of events. Unlike many commentators viewed to be on the right on YouTube, I've never gone against Reform. Many of them have. I think cynically for clicks. Sargon of Akkad has been back and forth on them for 18 months. Again, I'm cynical about it. I never have, because I'm a soldier at heart, I'm a pragmatist, and I think you work with what you've got, not what you'd like to get. That's why I've always said Farage has been my choice, and I've put zero effort into slagging him or Reform off the last couple of years. We know what his weaknesses are, but I don't want to talk about them. I want to talk about how bad the alternative could be. We can worry about pushing the party to the right and clamping down on illegal immigration and legal immigration, obviously. We don't want it to be another Boris Johnson. But this is a quandary, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Do we just ditch London altogether, accept it's a write-off with the current demographics, and concentrate on pleasing the base throughout England? Or do we focus on trying to win London with Layla Cunningham? Right, just some of the stuff I've seen today on X as the debate rages. Basil the Great here put, does it bother you that Reform has regulars at the snack bar at the top of the party? Valentina Gomez is, much more forthright than anybody in the UK, probably because she's the only one that has the legal protection to do so. Slippery Jet Performance is weighing in as well, but we all know what I think about him. Connor Thompson said he outright refuses to vote for a candidate that's a regular at the snack bar, and he says Layla may well say sensible things about the diddler gangs, but he doesn't want to be governed by them any more than he wants to be governed by a communist. The British public do not like the snack bar boys. Why does Reform? And after Politics UK announced it as breaking news, saying that Layla Cunningham is going to be the party's candidate for the Mayor of London, Jonathan Wong responded, don't like a muzzy mayor? How about a different regular at the snack bar? Wonderful. For myself, I responded to Connor and said, maybe it's because they're savvy politicians and they know it's impossible to run a white man in current demographics of London and win. Why the blind spot on in and out group preference all of a sudden, Connor? Why do you think the Tories ran the bloke from the Lighthouse family? The bloke from the Lighthouse family, obviously, if you don't know, was the Right Honourable Lord Bailey of Paddington, who, yes, definitely looks like the bloke from the Lighthouse family. Although, I do think he's got slightly more hair than him. So there we go. There's Connor's post, which I disagreed with. And I'm going to spell out what I think for you, because I genuinely am in two minds on this one. I think it's a difficult question to answer. Alas, if politics was easy, everybody would do it. Maybe that's why the 90% would rather watch pure slop on YouTube all day long, practical jokes and shit like that. What's the answer here? Obviously, you all know my politics. I'm as vehemently opposed to the regulars at the snack bar so much that I make merchandise gleefully taunting them. However, and it's a big however, in and out group preference is definitely a thing. It seems to be more powerful as a driver of human response in politics than almost anything else. You know it, I know it. It's not a coincidence that despite all the ridiculous TV commercials, which always show mixed race couples and black men necking on with each other, we all know that in reality, every single demographic, bar none, prefers their own. There have been multiple deep dives into the apps, the dating apps regarding this stuff. And it goes deeper than race. It even goes into ethnicity. Pakistanis prefer Pakistanis, Indians prefer Indians, white people prefer white people, black women prefer black men. It's not controversial. In fact, I'll throw it up so people don't accuse me of just using an allegorical tale. Studies of apps like OkCupid, Are You Interested and Jacked show a strong tendency for users to prefer partners from their own racial group, with women showing stronger same-race preferences than men. And this was a big one by OkCupid. Racial preferences exist. People prefer partners from their own racial groups. It's reinforced by platform filters. And studies suggest that racial bias is more influential than actual profile compatibility based on answers. Which takes us back to that. What do we do about this? Do you think Reform haven't really sat down and crunched the numbers and thought about this one? On the one hand, I agree with Connor. On the other, and I'm convinced this is the case, a white man cannot win in London. No way. Zach Goldsmith wasn't even close. That's why they wheeled out the Lighthouse Family guy. London is so brown and black and snack bar that you can't win if you're just a white guy. It's impossible. Now, one argument might be it's a hard one because on the one hand, people are extremely tribal and a white bloke can't win in London. But on the other, it's bad optics for the millions of Reform voters that have realised the necessity of mass deportations and fear that Reform are just going to be another Trojan horse and Farage another Boris. So, what's the answer? Well, ultimately, you have to pick one, don't you? It doesn't matter what. You can't just sit on the fence all day like Andrew Gold. I think if this was a smaller city or a northern city, maybe you'd be better off with Reform sticking to the guns and just putting Ant Middleton in. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to slag off Ant Middleton. He's a fellow Bootneck, and obviously I agree with the vast majority of his politics. But I think with London being as central as it is, how much political capital you'll gain by taking it, how important sorting out the capital city of England is. I think if they've crunched the numbers and Layla Cunningham gives them the best chance of winning, it's still an outside chance, to be honest. I mean, you've seen all the data for misogyny and Andrew Tate's popularity with all the black and brown communities. They're the only ones who love it. I still think a woman isn't the best choice. I think they should pick another Sadiq Khan type who's actually right-wing, to be honest, if you want to maximise your chance of winning. But I do think if Layla Cunningham has a much higher chance of winning than Ant Middleton, probably the wiser choice is to go with her. I think if it was any other city, maybe I'd go with opting for Ant. But with the optics being as they are, probably the wisest choice is to go with the snack bar lady. It is a hard one, though. So, what do you think? Yay or nay? Would you go with Ant Middleton or Layla Cunningham? Let me know what you think in the comments. I will read them. I'm very interested to know your thoughts. All right, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'll see you all tomorrow. Toodle pip. Cheers.